Discipline is not willpower.
It doesn't really get easier. You just kind of have to keep on doing it.
Like, it's not about motivation.
Yeah.
It's about discipline, because anybody can have motivation.
To you, it's easy.
Depends on getting up from bed in the morning is tough, but
Yeah.
I'd say in other areas of the life, I'd say easy.
Willpower is being able to avoid destructive tendencies, whereas discipline is about conducting yourself with decency and responsibility. Now, this is not a burden or an imposition. Living with discipline is actually a great joy. Taking this attitude frees us in that we have the power to choose how to live our lives. Or we can continue to see discipline as a chore and never fully commit ourselves to our goals or find passion in what we do. So I worked with a coach a couple years ago who had this way of encouraging his clients to think about how they spend their time and evaluate whether or not they had a productive day. And that was called a blueprint. And on that blueprint, you'd see lots of different things like waking up at a certain time without hitting the snooze button, or avoiding certain types of foods. Their idea was that we have long-term goals, but we have to hit certain checkpoints along the way. And so if you check off every single box of your blueprint over the course of a given day, then you know that you've been moving closer to your goal. And I think that this is just amazing. This philosophy is amazing, where you set intermediate targets so that you know that you're on track. And the goal can change, but it's just important to know that, you know, whatever it is that you're trying to do, you're taking steps in that direction. Now, I thought that this was supposed to be freeing in that I had a way to evaluate how I did over the course of a day and whether or not I moved more, closer to my goals or in further alignment with my goals. It felt like I was walking through a minefield. Like, do this, but don't do that, but don't do this. Go here, go there, don't go there. It was really stressful. And I felt like I had to look back at that list consistently throughout the day to see if I can check off any boxes or if there's things that I'm running out of time on. And so, it became very rigid, very inflexible, and very stressful. So what I decided to do, against the recommendation of my coach, was stop using the blueprint and think about discipline in a different way. So we talked a little bit about the difference between willpower and discipline. I'm going to focus more on discipline for the rest of the video because I believe that willpower is very straightforward. It's just something that you apply, and the more you do it, the stronger you get. Not super complicated, but discipline itself can get a little bit more confusing in that we don't always know how to conjure it up. Is discipline easy, fun, or is it a struggle?
Just in general?
Yeah, it just depends on, what you're, do you struggle to get up out of bed in the morning or hit the gym or eat healthy? To you, it's easy.
Depends on getting up from bed in the morning is tough, but
yeah.
I'd say in other areas of the life, I'd say easy.
So it just depends on the person, really. Like, some things are hard for some people and some things are...
Yeah.
And the funny part about this is that we don't actually have to do anything to conjure up this internal discipline. It's really more about removing the obstacles than it is about that magic bullet that gives us the discipline we need to go after or pursue our goals. A lot of people think that left to their own devices, that they would not show up as well. They would not show up as the person that they are today. They wouldn't eat the right foods. They wouldn't go to the gym. They wouldn't set goals. They wouldn't strive to be the best version of themselves. Do you find discipline to be like a constant struggle, or is it something that has gotten easier over time?
I think it's a constant struggle, no? I mean, it doesn't really get easier. You just kind of have to keep on doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe when the habit is kind of set in stone, it does get easier if you like it. But I think as far as discipline, if you're doing something that you don't like, it's always gonna kind of suck at the start.
Okay, so that's the secret, really, is you have to do things you like, and then discipline becomes easy.
I feel like when you get good at something, it gets more enjoyable.
Awesome, man.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're bad, when you're kind of shy at the start, I mean, it kind of sucks. It's kind of tough to get into it.
Okay.
But discipline, yeah. I mean, discipline can also be from not doing something.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Muscle memory in the other way.
Doing something is I would argue sometimes something like vaping or something like that. I'm
Yeah.
trying to quit vaping.
You are, okay.
And it's like not doing something is just as hard as like trying to get a routine and going to the gym. Like, you know?
Very interesting point. Left to our own devices, with no ego, with no expectations, with no attachments, with no envy or jealousy or trying to prove ourselves to anyone, naturally, we like to get out of bed and be human beings. We like to go to the gym. We like to go and be in relationships. We like to have stress because it makes us feel alive. These are all truths that we can lose track of if we don't have the constant reminder that discipline is a joy. Exercising discipline is a joy. But every time you do it, celebrate it, okay? And I'm only referring to the moments of pure discipline. So let's just say I didn't even really notice consciously that I had this inspiration to go to the gym. So do I just go to the gym and then come home and rinse and repeat the next day? Or is there a moment when I can celebrate what I just did? That I could celebrate my ability to conjure discipline. And when I like to reward myself for that is right in the middle of my working sets. So I'll be pushing dumbbells, and when my arms start to burn, that's when I know I accomplished my goal. My goal is to get to that point. My goal is to be the human being that lays down on that bench and pushes those weights as hard as he possibly can. The end result of getting stronger and having a better physique is all just a byproduct of your effort. So the end result of getting in better shape and looking better and feeling better, that's all just a byproduct of you being your best self. So it's incredible to be inspired by the world around you and to have dreams and goals and ambitions, but just watch out for the ways that the mind starts to sabotage the actual action-taking process, right? So sometimes, let's say maybe my goal is to go to the gym 6 days a week, and I've already had a rest day, right? So the inspiration, the motivation is to go to the gym because I want to be healthier and I want to look better and I want to just all around have a higher quality of life, right? But what actually gets me to the gym is the discipline that I cultivate within myself. Okay, so the idea behind the video is that discipline sometimes feels like kind of fun to sort of motivate yourself to like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the gym, I'm gonna do this or that, eat healthy, whatever.
Yeah.
But it can also feel like really hard and like a real like. So what's your take on it? Like, how do you think discipline is like easy, hard?
We always got taught that like it's not about motivation.
Yeah.
It's about discipline, because anybody can have motivation.
Okay.
Like anybody could be like, oh, I'm motivated to go and get a Rolex watch and I'm gonna work for it. But it's not about motivation. It's your discipline towards it. So it's like, what are you gonna do to stay disciplined to go towards that motivation, right? So like, are you gonna work this amount of hours for this amount of time, and then you're gonna do this diet because you gotta know that like if you're eating sugar, you're gonna have a sugar rush, and boom, like your discipline gotta be strong enough to go towards and work towards that motivation.
Education equals motivation. So
let's
what gives you
go.
the idea to stay motivated is being educated. You have to go chase.
Okay.
You gotta go.
Yeah.
And then you gotta be disciplined.
Yeah, you gotta be disciplined on top of that, because the motivation is not gonna last forever. So you gotta go keep educating yourself so that you keep the motivation there.
Ooh, that's just something. Right as you were saying that, I was like, oh, so the
That's
next
what it
time I
is.
feel the motivation to do something, I gotta act right
You
away.
gotta act right with it, because
Yeah.
anybody
It's
can have
gonna lead.
motivation.
It's gonna lead.
Anybody
It's a
can have
feeling.
motivation. Anybody can have an idea.
Yes.
Anybody can have
That's
an
what we're gonna
idea.
So the next time that you have a great idea, just remind yourself right after the fact how much it's actually going to take, how much discipline you're going to need to accomplish that goal. And you'll be surprised that doing this, going through this thought process, is actually very energizing. Okay, so we covered why discipline is so important, the distinction between discipline and willpower, and when we should give ourselves that positive reinforcement for actually taking the action, right? It happens during the action. But how do you do it, right? Like, how do you, when you're in that moment, you have the motivation, you have the inspiration, but you just can't quite get yourself to take that first step. What do? You look ahead, okay? What I mean by that is look out an hour from now. Look out a day from now. 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Picture yourself on your deathbed. What are you going to think and how are you going to feel looking back on the decision that you're going to make in this moment? Are you going to thank your younger self? Are you going to say, thank you, younger self, for just getting started and taking one small step every day because look at where I am now? Or are you going to look back and say, what a missed opportunity? It could be a master's degree. You know, what are you going to think about yourself 2 years from now when you have that degree, as opposed to looking back and wishing that you were brave enough to go through that application process, the interview process, go to class, do all those schoolwork. It's going to be so hard, but it's going to be so worth it in the end. And it's going to be so beautiful when you look back on the decisions that you're making now with gratitude and admiration for your younger self. This is something that exists within each and every one of us. We just need to dig and dig and dig until we can find it. It's worth it. Power through. You got this. Thank y'all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Get out there today. Do something that scares you. And if you like the video, leave a like, hit subscribe. See you in the next one.
Use curb cuts.
Okay.
I'm allergic to them.
Okay. If you want, we can go just a couple steps here.
Yeah.
And then we're going to stop. What's your name, by the way? You don't have to tell me if you don't want to.
No, I'll tell you what my name is.
Okay.
Get my own way.
Get my own way?
Yep.
Okay. Cool, I'm Dan.
By the way, happy birthday.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Every day is your birthday except the day you were born.
Oh, that's when it's not your birthday?
What month, date, and year were you born?
July 23rd, 1995.
Even though July 23rd, 1995 was a Friday, you were born Sunday, July 23rd, 1895.
Oh, interesting. That's cool.
You get this.
You ready?
Yes.
Okay.
And you get more.
Mmm.
That's why Tapatra is your name.
It's a cool name.
Keep going. I know the curve's coming up.
It's coming right now.
I know
Okay.
that. Okay, we're here. See ya.
Have a great day.
Yeah.